Hey everybody, you're watching We the Fandom, where we discuss comic books, pop culture, and the fandom experience. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more content. How's it going everybody? Jacob here at We the Fandom, and what the hell, Marvel? Do you guys even care anymore? Today what we're talking about is sometime in the fall they're releasing a new Eternals book, which from what I've heard is supposed to be like a retooling, possibly like a reboot of the Eternals I guess history from the original Jack Kirby concept. And they really recently released their list of variant covers, and it's crazy. Um, if you don't know, the Eternals movie was supposed to come out this November, and it's been pushed to sometime next year. I guess whenever Black Widow comes out, they'll figure out a time to release the Eternals. And I'm guessing they're trying to put out this new Eternals book to go along with that movie, but the way they're going about it is just terrible. So we're going to take a look at that list of variant covers. By the way, my wife pointed out that I swore too much in my last video, but my channel's too small for YouTube to notice me, so I think I'm probably fine. But if any of you guys are offended by cursing, I guess let me know in the comments below. But here we have the list of variant covers. And for those of you who don't know, comic book creators will the companies themselves, such as Marvel, DC, sometimes the smaller companies like Image and Dynamite, they'll create a variant cover, which is so you get like a single issue. So for this one, it'll be Eternals issue number 1, and it'll be like from 15 to 25-ish pages, and you'll get a cover, the regular cover that was originally slated to be there, and then on top of that, they commission other artists to create variant covers, which means you're getting the same book, the same pages, the same material inside. You're just getting a different cover drawn by a different artist. And more Marvel than DC has been using this practice over the years to basically inflate their sales numbers, because what they do is they'll a retailer like a comic book store, they have a catalog, and in that catalog they look at all the books for Marvel, DC, and the indie companies coming out for that month, and they get to pick and choose which comic books they receive. And when they do that, they get a list of all the variant covers for each comic for each month. And obviously there are comics that are more popular than others, and they usually put out more variant covers for those. But for this comic, they're putting out 38 variant covers. 38 variant covers for a comic that has never been popular, for a franchise that even with the movie coming out, I don't see that the popularity from the movie translating to the comic books. Because even if the Eternals movie makes tons of money and people like it, I think it's going to make tons of money because it's a Disney movie, and because it's a big blockbuster, and because it's going to come out probably sometime when the pandemic is either gone, or at least when restrictions are a lot looser. So people are going to be going back to the movie theaters most likely, and they're going to go see this big blockbuster movie made by Disney, made by Marvel, and it's going to make a bunch of money. And you'll probably get a whole bunch of casual fans who don't read comics, and they might actually like the movie, and that's great. But the people who read comic books who already don't care for the Eternals comics, I don't think the movie is going to make them care, especially because a lot of comic book fans, such as myself, are sticklers about the portrayal of comic book characters and stories within the comic book movies, and the MCU has definitely taken their fair share of can't think of that word. They do very loose adaptations of stories and also of certain characters. And so for instance, the Eternals movie, they're basically swapping around certain characters, changing the gender and race of some of the characters. to create more diversity in the Eternals movie versus the cast of characters that you see in the comic books. So for those people who are interested in the Eternals comic, you're not really going to see the original Jack Kirby cast of the Eternals. You're going to see a different, they might have the same names, but they're going to be a little bit different in the movie portrayal. But anyways, to get back to this list, yeah, I just don't see I don't see an Eternals book being super popular, even with the movie coming out. 2, I don't see the Eternals comic book being popular, given that they're trying to retool it most likely to fit closer to the MCU version. And 3, there's a whole bunch of great artists in here. That's not the problem. The problem is that there's 38 variant covers, and retailers have to pick and choose because variant covers exist. Well, variant covers used to be a special thing when there'd only be like 2 or 3 for the really popular comic books, because those variant covers would become collector's items later on. And so that's why people buy them. The problem is when you put out 38 variant covers, especially right now when people probably don't have as much extra spending money as they used to, and people are probably not likely to walk into comic book shops anyways, and you're making a new Eternals book, which has already been a classically unpopular series, basically since its beginning, and then you're going to put out 38 variant covers for that. Marvel, you are way too out of touch with your fans. You need to take a step back, kind of do what DC's doing, roll back your list of titles, make less comics, make better comics. Quality over quantity, especially when it comes to the number of variant covers. I mean, come on. 38 variant covers for the Eternals. That's, again, there are amazing artists in this list, but I don't think retailers are going to be able to sell all these. I don't think they're going to be able to sell most of them. You might get a few people here and there who will buy their favorite variant cover, but that's going to be a very small number of people, I think. Even the people who are slightly aware that the Eternals movie is coming out at some point, I don't know if they'd be motivated enough to go walk into a comic book store when this comes out and buy one, let alone 2 or more of these variant covers. I mean, come on, Marvel. You guys could take some advice from the indie creators. They sometimes do variant covers, but they do very few of them. They make sure their books are quality. They make sure they can only afford to put out books that people actually care about and variants that people actually care about. Get it together, Marvel. I want you guys to succeed. I want the comic book industry to succeed. I want to be able to I want to be motivated to go into a comic book store and buy new comics. Because as of right now, except for the Donny Cates Thor run, which I think might be over, I'm not sure. There's nothing coming out of Marvel right now that I care to read. Nothing new. I still read Marvel comics all the time, but I read old stuff because the stuff coming out right now isn't that good, to be honest. And putting out 38 variant covers for a book that most likely people won't care about that much. It's almost an embarrassing desperation move that Marvel is banking so much on a movie on an obscure franchise that most people don't know about, and then they're going to put out 30 variant covers. Just put out good books. That's it. Put out good books. Less variant covers. It's not rocket science. But anyways, thank you for listening to my rant. If you guys are new to We the Fandom, please hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like, and I will see you all next time.